Hello students, welcome back to the lecture class 2 on the lathe chapter. Lathe chapter 1, this is the fifth module in the elements of mechanical engineering course. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the various operations that can be performed in the lathe. In the previous lecture class, I have told about the introduction of the lathe, what is the machining process, what is the meaning of machining process, then what are the specifications, what are the parts of the lathe we have discussed in the previous lecture class. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the various operations that can be performed in the lathe. Cylindrical turning, facing, taper turning, knurling, thread cutting, drilling. So all these operations are there. More than these operations also we can perform. So as the syllabus point of view, just these are the operations are specified in the syllabus. So we will discuss about these operations, how these operations are performed. First, cylindrical turning operation. Cylindrical turning operation means we have to rotate the workpiece. We have to rotate the workpiece in order to reduce the diameter of the workpiece. In order to reduce the diameter of the workpiece, we have to rotate it. So first, what is the setup here? How we have to perform? So this is the workpiece. This workpiece we have to fix it in the 3-jaw chucks. 3 jaws will be there in the chuck. So I told you that chuck is the headstock. Chuck is along with the headstock. So headstock is there here in this portion. So 3-jaw chuck is there. In 3-jaw chuck you have to fix the workpiece of length or given length 100 mm, let us say. So this small amount of length, small length, let us say some 10 mm, 10 mm or 20 mm length will go inside the jaw, and you have to clamp. You are using the chuck key, that is a tool, in order to tight this workpiece. You have to tight the workpiece, so workpiece will be firmly fitted in the 3-jaw chuck. So during the rotation, it should not come outside. When it comes out, it is very dangerous. It may come and hit you. It may come and hit other people also who are there nearer to this. And other end of this workpiece, you have to support with the tailstock support. A dead center support is required here. So two ends of the workpiece is supported, and in between the two ends, the workpiece will start rotating. So one end is in 3-jaw chuck and other end is with the tailstock support. So firmly it is fitted inside. And now the single point cutting tool, where we have to fit, I told you where we have to fit a single point cutting tool, we have to fix in the tool post. So tool post. So you have to switch on the machine. You have to switch on the machine. After that, the single point cutting tool you have to start the operation. You will first touch the first point. Okay, you can start from here. From this point, it has come to this place. The continuously chips are removed. So you have to give the depth of cut. Once you switch on the machine, you have to give the depth of cut 1 mm or 0.5 mm. You have to give the depth of cut, and slightly using the carriage wheel. I have shown you in the last class the carriage wheel is there. So that carriage wheel, you have to rotate it. Slowly the tool, single point cutting tool, starts moving. That means you are giving the feed here. When you rotate the carriage wheel, that means you are giving the feed. Slowly you have to rotate, so that the single point cutting tool will start removing the material from one end and it will reach to the last end. Once the tool reaches to a last end, again you have to stop it, or you have to take back the tool backside. Then again you have to come back. Again you have to start from here. So like that you have to give the feed by the carriage wheel. Speed you have to fix it, and depth of cut by using the tool post. So tool post wheel is there. Tool post wheel, when you rotate the tool post wheel, how much mm of the material you wanted to remove, you have to give in that. So 1 mm or 0.5 mm or 1.5 mm, you have to rotate it vertically. You have to move the tool post in vertical direction, so that depth of cut will be given. So feed is given in the help of carriage in the cylindrical turning operation. Depth of cut is given with the help of tool post. This is the depth of cut direction. How much, that means tool has to move like this. It has to move. That is more amount of only less amount of tool it has to move. 1 mm, that is to, or 1.5 mm only. Okay. So that you have to fix it, and the tool has to travel from this point to this point slowly. When you rotate the carriage wheel, the tool will move slowly from this point to this last point. that is longitudinal feed. You are giving longitudinal feed. So thereby all the surface of the workpiece is the metal is removed. The metal removal takes place in the form of a continuous or discontinuous chips based upon the material property. Okay, this is cylindrical turning operation. So sum up, cylindrical turning is used to reduce the diameter. First point is turning operation. Cylindrical turning or turning operation is used to reduce the diameter of the workpiece 30 mm to 25 mm. Okay, 25 mm for a 25 mm means say 30 mm to 25 mm. All of a sudden you cannot remove 30 to 25 mm in single pass. 1 mm, 1 mm. So 5 times you have to make the workpiece to travel from this end there is a right hand side to the left hand side, right? 5 times you have to remove the material, so it becomes 30 to 25 mm. So all of a sudden you should not remove the material 5 mm. Okay, every pass 1 mm, every pass 1 mm, every pass 1 mm. So 30 mm, 25 mm it will come. Okay, so the feed is given in this direction with the help of a carriage wheel, and depth of cut is given in the help of a tool post, and switch on the machine, start giving the feed. So this completes the cylindrical turning operation. Next is facing operation. So facing operation is used in order to reduce the length. Now feed is different, depth of cut is different. Okay, feed is the help of tool post. Tool will move in the vertical direction. In the previous case, tool has moved from the linear direction, the previous case turning operation, but facing operation, in this case tool travel takes place in the vertical direction. Okay, so that is, we have to give the feed like this. This is the feed given by given with the help of tool post. Then depth of cut is given with the help of carriage wheel. Depth of cut you have to give in the help of carriage wheel. So you have to move the carriage wheel, okay, to small distance 1 mm, that is 30 into 29 mm. You want to make a length, for example 100 mm. 100 mm is the length, 100 mm length. So now 100 mm to 90 mm you have to make 90 mm. So all of a sudden within a single shot you cannot get 90 mm. So at least you have to make it 90 mm in the at least in 10 passes. Okay, because 10 mm you have to remove, extra 10 mm you have to remove it. Okay, so 1 mm every pass you have to give 1 mm depth of cut with the help of carriage wheel. You have to move slightly with the help of carriage wheel, then give the feed in the vertical direction. Okay, in this direction you have to give, then 1 mm length will be reduced, so it becomes 99. Again you move the tool 1 mm in this direction, again you will get the again give the tool in the vertical direction, so you will get 98 mm. So the 10 passes you at least you have to carry out in order to make it 100 mm to 90 mm. Okay, this is the facing operation. To sum up, facing operation is used to reduce the length of the workpiece. Turning operation is used to reduce the diameter of the workpiece. Same way, you have to fix it in the here check. Next comes taper turning operation. So taper turning operation is used to produce the conical surfaces. Taper turning operation is used to produce the conical surfaces. So 4 methods are there here. By swiveling means rotating of compound rest. Second is by offsetting the tailstock. Third is by using taper turning attachment. Next, fourth is by form tool method. But as per syllabus, first two we are going to discuss. It is there in the syllabus. Okay, they may ask, explain the taper turning operation with the help of swiveling compound rest method. They may ask like this. So any method, or generally they may ask, explain taper turning operation. Any one method you can take. So first two methods we are going to discuss. Any one method you can just take and you can describe that, explain the how we are doing taper turning operation. So this is the taper turning by swiveling compound rest method. You can see here. So now for that we have to calculate, you have to first find out the taper turning formula. So as usual you have to keep the you have to keep the workpiece in the 3-jar chuck. So this is the capital D, major diameter, and this is small d. Or is the length, or how much diameter is required? This is because this is the taper portion here. How much? This is this end diameter. How much? This is called major diameter. This is called minor diameter. So capital D minus small d divided by 2 into length of the taper. You have to find out the answer for that. Capital D minus small d divided by the 2L. This is the formula for the taper turning by using Svelling compound rest. So theta is equal to tan inverse of that you will get. Okay, this is tan theta. If you take tan theta is equal to capital D minus small d by 2 into L. L is the length of the taper. L is, let us say, 30 mm we want. This is 30 mm. So capital D is again it is something like 25 mm, and this is a 20 mm. So you have to put the formula and you make it theta is equal to tan inverse of that. You will get some amount, some angle you will get. So that one you have to fix it in a compound rest. And compound rest you have to rotate it. When you rotate it and it will be 5 degree or 10 degree for example, then you fix it properly, tight the compound rest properly, and then you have to start the operation. How to start the operation means you have to rotate the cross line. Okay, if you rotate, then you are going to get from that feed is given with the help of a hand wheel. Okay, the hand wheel continuously you have to give the feed like this. Compound rest method. So this method is more suitable for producing the steep taper with a short lens. Steep taper with a short lens. The taper turning by Svelling compound rest. Next, taper turning by offsetting tailstock. So offsetting tailstock means we have to move away from the tailstock. Tailstock is not exactly at the center. Tailstock should be away from the center. It's called a offset method. Tailstock offset method. So D minus capital D minus small d into LW. LW is the length of entire workpiece divided by 2 into L. Length of taper LT. 2 into LT length of taper. This is the formula for this method. Okay, when you do it, you get the taper turning operation. So this you will get a taper turning product. This one workpiece. So this is done by offsetting of the body of the tailstock with respect to its base by an amount equal to this offset. So next we will go for the knurling operation. So knurling operations, again the same thing. Workpiece you have to keep it in the 3-jaw check. Okay, this small portion is knurled surface. Knurled surface, why knurling operation is required means to get the grip, to get the support. Okay, when you hold this particular product, you should not slip from your hand. You should not slip from your hand. You have to get the proper grip. Okay, that is with the gripping surface. So this might have seen on the bolts, then the latches you might have seen, because that should not slip from the hand. Okay, this is one type of pattern: knurled pattern, diamond pattern, straight pattern. So the main thing is not to slip from the hands or fingers. You have to knurl the surface. Small portion is knurled here, not entire surface here. Small portion is knurled too. So knurling tools, with the help of knurling tool, okay, you have to keep the knurling tool in the tool post, and you have to apply the force. Okay, you have to apply the force in this vertical direction. Feed is given like this, and tool feed is given also. Both way you have to give tool feed. Okay, in the vertical direction, on a linear direction. The workpiece will be rotating. Then the pattern, whatever the pattern which is there on the knurling tool, the same pattern is going to fall on this workpiece. Diamond pattern is diamond pattern. Some straight pattern is straight pattern, but you require some sort of rough surface on the workpiece. It should not be smooth surface, it should be rough surface, mainly to have a gripping force. It should not slip from our hand. It is called knurling operation. Next we have thread cutting operation. So thread cutting operation is mainly used to cut the threads on the workpiece. So what is the thread? Is a continuous helical groove cut over the surface. Continuous helical groove cut over the surface. That is called as a thread. In this operation, suitable tool which gives required thread. So for example, you want V thread, a square thread, etc. The particular tool you have to use. Okay, that is thread V threads. Depending upon that, you have to use that. The carriage is connected to the lead screw with the help of a split nut. Okay, the rotation of the lead screw gives the required motion of the carriage relative to the rotation of the workpiece. The speed of the spindle in thread cutting is less. Okay, here speed is very less. Not general normal speed or say 500 rpm like that. You have to use less speed by using gear ratio. Okay, so you have to first calculate the gear ratio. Then you have to find out the what is the speed, how much speed you have to make it. Okay. Next, hence the speed of the workpiece should be initially adjusted. So this is thread cutting operation. Thread cutting operation is used to cut the threads on the workpiece. So for that, what you should make here, you have to find out the first gear ratios. Okay, for this particular M4 thread, M30 thread, M30. So what type of thread you want? Right hand thread or left hand thread? Which type of thread? Everything, all calculations you have to do it, and using off nut mechanism or split nut mechanism, you have to do thread cutting operation. So this is right hand thread, and this is a right hand thread, and this is a left hand thread. So right hand thread means you can turn the tool bolt advances into the nut in a clockwise direction. When you rotate that, when you turn it in the clockwise direction, okay, it will move and fit. But in the same left hand thread, you have to rotate in the counterclockwise, anti-clockwise direction in order to make it a assembly, bolt and nut assembly. Next, drilling on the lathe. So this is the last operation. So drilling is the operation of producing a cylindrical hole by means of a drill bit. By means of a drill bit, the help of a tailstock. So a drill bit is there. A twist drill. You can see twist drill is supported in the sleeve. Okay, tailstocks. Spindle is there. Next, when you rotate this workpiece at a particular RPM, okay, and you have to give the force. The drilling feed you have to give in this direction. So that this drill bit is not rotating, only workpiece is rotating. Workpiece is rotating, so drill bit just advances into the workpiece. Thereby you will get a hole on the workpiece, one of the hole. So this is a drilling operation. Drilling is operation of making a hole. So it is best performed on drilling machine. So thank you for watching the video. Again, this lathe chapter is completed. Next we'll go for the next chapter, that is the milling chapter, that is chapter 2 in the 5th module. Thank you.